Water comes in many flavors to the discerning palate. Mondstadt's water is crisp and pure, while water from Liyue has an enduring aftertaste. In Inazuma, the water possesses a depth of flavor unlike any other. Sumeru's water, meanwhile, has a rich and complex flavor profile, but it must be savored patiently to fully appreciate it. Melusines are beautiful creatures. They are the pride of Fontaine. Be sure to be friendly and cause them no harm.
Gasta minha resina, gente. Aí sim, beleza. Combinado. Ah não, o que que eu tô vai começar a latir agora?
A process of elimination.
Arma no microfone.
How bold.
Our bond is strong.
Nossa, ganhei os dois. Não quero fazer da Fortaleza Meropide, não, pelo amor de Deus.
smuggling case was solved by the joint forces of the guards and the Maréchaussée Phantom. The list of involved suspects should be...
What does it say?
The principal offenders Domenico, Inica, Yuna, and others have been caught. They have been sent to the fortress of Meropide. Those with close connections or mutual interests with the offenders, but who did not participate in the case, will not stay. Among them, surveillance of Essin has ceased on account of his good behavior. All other persons...
So many names. Is the one...
Yes, there is something suspicious about Essin, to be precise. It seems like he's closely related to the core members of the smuggling case, and he moves around without much restriction.
Monsieur Neuvillette, someone claiming to be from the Spina di Rosula just checked in with us. He said, and I quote, "We have located the suspect. They're chatting at the cafe." Huh? How did Nadia find them so quickly? We've only...
I too am perplexed. The cafe isn't too...
Oh, look.
Hey Nadia, we're here! Whoa. Check out all these people. Hey there, are you Nadia's friends too?
These are the people who have had recent dealings at the Maréchaussée Phantom. They're usually hidden in the Fleuve Zandra, but I sent for someone to invite them over.
Invite them over?
Exactly. Now, I heard there's great coffee here, and so I asked them if they'd like to come and have some.
Yeah, it's our pleasure to be guests of the Spina di Rosula.
I've wanted to have a meetup like this for ages.
Sounding
Parece
weird,
que...
but... Oh well, let's get back to business. Is there anyone called Essin here?
Yes, that's me.
You're Essin?
Yes, Monsieur Neuvillette.
Did you write that threatening letter to Chiara?
I did, but I was just following orders.
Orders from whom?
Domenico, he was my boss. I couldn't disobey his orders.
Domenico. Where is he now?
The fortress of Meropide.
Well, I'm afraid even the Spina would have trouble looking into that place. Looks like you'll have to make the trip yourselves. This was as much as I could do.
You've done more than enough. I'm extremely grateful for your help.
Leave the formalities for later. You should find Domenico first. If he really is the one setting up the conspiracy, it'd be best if he's exposed as soon as possible.
Alright then, let's head to the fortress right now!
Não, não quero ir pra Fortaleza Meropide. É o final da quest já? Amém, meu Deus. É o final da quest.
Welcome to the Fortress of Meripede, dear esteemed guests.
We're back! Oh, and a greeting from none other than the Duke himself!
This isn't anything new. I figured you had important matters to discuss when the two of you, not to mention the Chief Justice, showed up. Let's assume we've gone through the pleasantries and cut right to the chase. I do remember a thing or two about Domenico. He once attempted to round up the...
Who does this guy think he is?
He once attempted to, I said, meaning that it was over before it even started. And now he's threatening Melazines. To be honest, Domenico doesn't seem like much of a conspirator. The fact that the three of you bothered to personally investigate raises a flag.
He's got the same concerns we do.
I am concerned about this incident because something similar has occurred in the past. I wish to meet Domenico in person and have my questions answered. That's an easy one. Let me think. I think he's at...
Oh, did I hear someone say Melazine? What happened? Sijuin! Yeah, and we're investigating. The person who threatened... Really? Is Kiara...
There's no need to worry. Clarande is protecting her as we speak.
Well, that's great. But if the criminal's still...
Ah, head nurse. Do you require me? Ridesley. Okay, I get it. I'll bring Domenico to you. That's your only demand, correct? Think of it as more of a
Aproveite quem está entrando. Eu sei que tá com a Quest Arconte no título, mas tô fazendo a missão lendária do Novelete pra me conseguir fazer a Quest Arconte.
Thanks for the trouble. Consider me in your debt.
Whoa! If Paimon were the Duke, Paimon would take this chance to ask for some...
Well, were I still a criminal, I'd probably ask for a lighter sentence. But I'm sure, monsieur... But enough jokes. I'll look for Domenico and bring him to you. Make yourselves at home. Our dear head nurse has mentioned you quite a few times, so I'm sure she has a lot to say.
Por que ela me leva logo pro Domenico?
And watch your step. There's some pretty dark areas, so make sure you don't trip over anything.
Não, meu Deus, missão secundária. Vou pegar.
Paimon doesn't see anything here.
Só pra deixar guardado. Não quero fazer isso. Ô louco, ele tá nessa missão. Eu realmente queria que não usasse ataque básico com o Novelete.
Did Novelete just walk by?
Now that I think about it, I can leave this place soon. Huh?
Novelete é uma presença muito poderosa.
Please rest here for a moment. Oh, and would any... Paimon's not that thirsty. Thirst is a warning sign that you're dehydrated, which means you have to drink up even before that. I'll bring you some tea. I'm sure you'll have a lot... Typical Sijuin. Concerned about everyone's health. Why aren't you two saying anything?
You noticed them too. The badges they wore on...
Familiar? But if both of you say so, let's go ask them about it.
That's not a bad idea.
Oh, Novelete. Ele vai sentar? Não. Que Novelete?
Anything you need? Oh, this? Are you interested?
What's that?
We have a very long history. Going back, we have never had many members throughout our history, nor do we have much of a reputation. Helping each other is our purpose. At the same time, we seek...
Sounds like a pretty neat...
All we want is to defend ourselves, but people won't give us a hard time.
Interested in joining the mutual aid? If you'd like to learn more, here's our flag.
Entendi.
Our slogan may have evolved over this. Here, this book is for you.
You two look kind of... It's the symbol of the Mutual Aid Network. From what I've heard, it's based on something called a Medal of Peace. I've never seen one of those medals for myself, though. The first president of our network was an amazing person. Powerful as he was, he never used his strength against anyone. He encouraged the weaker criminals to stick. All of us have a lot.
Certeza que eu... Esqueci o nome do bosta que eu fiz as quests ontem. Mas é o cara da quest de ontem.
Did you manage to gather any intel?
The people who wore the badges belong to it. According to them, the badge's design was...
I personally crafted 2 of them myself. They were awarded to Carol in Vautrin. Carol's medal was destroyed in a fire. The only one that remained should belong to Vautrin.
Oh, so the network wasn't... Monsieur Neuvillette, His Grace has requested your presence in...
All right. Let us...
Porque as quests lendárias da Chãozinho tá muito legal. Mesmo que não seja lá, aquelas coisas também tá divertido. As coisas secundárias já tanto faz. Sinceramente não dou a mínima para as quests secundárias.
Allow me to introduce this. Why don't you explain everything to me?
Neuvillette? What do you want?
Calm down. I merely want to ask you, was it your idea to send that Hassan has already confessed, so they're really...
That idiot! I can't believe I trusted him.
Let me ask this another way. It was your idea to send that letter, correct? Who is pulling your...
What? You're not trying to frame me for something I haven't done, are you?
It's best if you realize the gravity of your situation. The Chief Justice of Font, I assume your previous attempt to incite unrest at the Fortress of Meripede has something to do with this as well.
I admit I acted on impulse. I'll tell you the truth. But before that, you must ensure my safety.
I can do that.
You see, we're all reasonable people here.
I only intended to do some small business at first. Someone contacted me about delivering some goods and promised me a generous sum of money. After making a few trips, I was suddenly approached by the Maréchaussée Phantom. They accused me of smuggling but I refused to accept any of that. The ignorant can be rightfully absolved from guilt, right? Well, I suspect that someone got me locked up here so they could get their hands on my goods.
And then you decided to take revenge on the Melazines? Over that?
My initial target was Neuvillette. Everyone in the Fortress of Meripede was declared guilty by him after all. So they must more or less hold a grudge against him, right? If I could get... But for some reason, no one wanted to team up with me. That mutual aid network in particular. In the end, I had to redirect my focus onto Melazines to salvage things. I recall that Chiara was the one who confiscated my goods for inspection. So I asked one of the more approachable guards to send a letter, claiming that I met... But the letter was in fact addressed to Essa. I requested that he write a threat letter to Kiara and force her to resign from the Maréchaussée Phantom.
Am I to assume that the claims you've made are your own thoughts? Have you been in contact with any
No.
Is it true that all members involved in the smuggling scandal have been caught?
Yes.
Sijuin, please take him back to the detention center. I'll deal with him later. So, Monsieur Neuvillette, you were concerned that there might be a shadowy faction looking to capitalize on the delicate situation with the Melazines to...
Yes. I experienced a similar incident in the past, so I...
And how long ago was this?
More than 400 years.
You might be overthinking this. Time can change a lot of things. Everything's different now.
What do you mean?
400 years ago, you and the Melazines you brought to Fontaine were the outliers in society. But in the present day, if someone were to threaten the safety of the Melazines, people wouldn't just sit back and do...
That's right.
Assim que começa a beijar, assim que o Neuvillette e o Wesley começam a se beijar.
Monsieur Neuvillette, the Melazines are a species you introduced to Fontaine. How the public treats them is also reflective of their attitude towards you. When people refused to place their trust in Melazines, it was because they were still on the fence about you, their unfamiliar... For almost 500 years, you've conducted every trial with impartiality. You made the right judgment each time, regardless of what... People no longer have any reservations about you, and even consider you... Right now, your every decision will impact all of Fontaine. In other words, you've gradually
Paimon gets it now. No wonder no one wanted to join forces with Domenico.
I am undeserving of such high compliments. From my perspective, I have simply been It isn't anything special or worthy of praise. I'm simply fulfilling the promises I've made and searching It is unnecessary to hold me in such high regard. The complexity of human emotions and willpower far exceed those of mine. As a matter of fact, I believe that
There's no need to be so modest. The current state of affairs, you're no longer that outsider you were before. Even if you wished to investigate something on your own, many would take the initiative to lend you a hand.
I must say that you've made a fair point. Thank you for clearing my doubts. Now that the case has been settled...
Huh? You're leaving?
And so soon, too? Why not stay?
Thank you for the offer, but I know how this place... While some are here to redeem themselves, there will inevitably be those who harbor resentment toward... The less time I spend here, the better. My presence could very well result in an unwanted disturbance.
In that case, I'll have to insist. I still...
Please, go ahead.
The first is about the guard who helped Domenico send that letter.
I know of what... The guard was indeed deployed from the Palais Memoria's staff. However, as I mentioned earlier, I visited today on personal business. Therefore...
Well, that makes things a lot easier. Hey now, don't let your imagination... Those from up there have a tendency to sympathize with others. However, down here, such thoughts will put... I'll have a chat with the guard and remind him to take precautions in the future.
I see no issues with that.
Great. That's one thing out of the way.
The other thing was born from my own sense of curiosity. Now, I've heard that you...
Yep. Neuvillette thought their badges looked...
I noticed the small gang as well when I first took over the Fortress of Meropide. They were not great in number, but every member always made sure to stand up for what was right. I've looked into their founder, Vautrin, who once stood trial and was sent to... According to existing documentation, Vautrin remained disciplined throughout his imprisonment. He had never... In other words, how he presented himself in prison was very different from his behavior in court.
What? During his trial, I could sense that his feelings were complicated. He appeared to be full of resentment, and I believe he had
Perhaps he had been putting on
an act?
Neuvillette and Vautrin had a close relationship as superior and subordinate. Vautrin must have known that Thus, the more resentment he displayed, the clearer it would be to those present that you were up, and to those who had been sitting on the fence. Vautrin's act was a very mean... That's all from me. Does anyone else have any...
I don't have anything to say. Well then, let us head back.
Please, take care.
Os caras adicionam coisa na legenda. Se eu não falar que não tem.
That trial is something I rarely bring up in conversation, but I have always felt deep regret for what happened to both Carol and Vautrin. The words he spoke in court often replay in my mind, as if urging me on to do something.
But Risley said he never resisted you, right? Isn't that a good thing?
I believe I now understand what he wanted to tell me. I feel conflicted about those words. How should I describe it? Surprise, relief, fear, and regret. But this blend of emotions has led me to finally understand some things. I would like to hear your thoughts, too. What do you think of me?
Paimon agrees with everything Risley said. As Chief Justice, every single one of your trials makes an hey, any comments?
What I really think is every trial you've ever judged has left its impression on you. And that's what makes you who you are today.
That is indeed a reasonable... As I said, I find it difficult to express my emotions because I cannot fully understand myself. But I trust your judgment. Since these changes were not due to any specific occurrence, but emerged, I will try to contemplate this further.
Caraca.
Oh. Huh? It's raining!
Que...
Oh no! Paimon forgot to bring an umbrella! Come on, let's hurry before it rains harder!
Meu vilé. Fofo, ele tá segurando pra não chorar. Ele tá segurando pra não chorar.
It's raining again? I've had enough of this weather.
There go my travel plans.
Did you read the news this morning? Quick, put away everything on the clothesline.
When is this rain going to stop?
Hydro Dragon, don't cry!
Ai, que fofo! Ai, coitado do vilete!
They're planning to reanimate the monster. We have to report this to the Chief Justice.
The Fortress of Meripede. It's a good place for me.
He owes me so many answers.
Neuvillette?
Oh.
You could say he's the real symbol of Fontaine's justice.
Watch him closely. He could be trouble.
A Arlequina apareceu, não esperava.
How can two completely different species possibly coexist?
Who's been threatening Melusines? Show yourself!
É a mesma mulher racista, xenofóbica do passado.
You will see much in the human world, from the delightful to the depressing. And one day, when you have dwelt among humanity long enough, you will be placed to bring judgment over all as a spokesperson for Fontaine's past.
Good morning, Monsieur Neuvillette! The rainy season's almost
you find time to enjoy the sunny days ahead.
Meu Deus, que cutscene linda. Olha o sorrisinho.
Is the matter resolved?
Yep, we found the person who sent that threatening letter. Risley said he'd keep a close eye on him, so the Melazine should be safe now.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Sorry for dragging you all into this.
There's no need to apologize.
Yeah, you didn't drag us in. We got involved of our own accord.
By the way, where's Kiara?
At the Palais Mermonia, more than 50 people offered to protect her. Some even hid within the bushes to I was worried that the excess of protection would make her feel uneasy. So I asked her to stay inside.
Well, now it looks like the dust has finally settled. To celebrate this joyous occasion, Monsieur Nouvelette.
That's not how you say.
I will consider it. Of course. My schedule is full for the following weeks, but I should come up with questions during the intervening days, and I will answer them to the best of my ability.
Yes! Thank you so much!
Now, if you'll excuse me, I must head back to the Palais and issue a communique to publicize. I hope it will assuage the concerns of all.
Meu Deus, eu desse jogo. Agora eu não posso terminar a quest, por quê? Porque tá com a missão principal no lugar. Meu Deus, esse jogo. Dois de novo. Agora é a missão principal. Jogo lixo.
today. Halt! Huh? Oh, it's you two. Apologies. Monsieur Neuvillette did say you'd be welcome at any time.
Excuse me. Would you mind helping me take a look at...
I'll be right there. Sorry, I've got my hands full here. Everyone's so busy. Seems a lot has been happening.
Hello. You've come at the right time, but you'll have to wait for just a moment. In the meantime, please, have a seat. If you'd like to have something to drink...
That's all right. We just ate.
Very well, then.
Let's take a break over there while we wait for him to finish.
All right.
Are you done with your work?
Yes, sorry to keep you waiting. Today should be the day you were released from the fortress of Meripede. And it appears that you've managed to complete all the...
That's right, and we came...
A massive whale.
Do you have any idea what that might be?
Judging from your description, that cannot have occurred in any ordinary waters, but rather something like the primordial... A whale of that size and shape cannot usually be found in the waters of Tevat. Therefore, we can only assume that Child is presently immersed in primordial seawater.
Immersed in primordial seawater? But how? Is he okay?
Most people wouldn't be capable of entering in the first place. I'm not... Yes? What is it?
Oh, right! We asked the Duke and he said it wasn't from underwater, so we figured you might know...
It turns out that I have just received a report about this particular matter. The source of the tremor was here on the surface near Poisson. After the shaking stopped, the water levels in the Poisson...
The water levels rose?
Fortunately, the water levels only rose for a short period of time, and have already returned to normal now. If the change in water levels is connected with the leaking primordial seawater, then the situation in Poisson may be much worse than it appears.
Navia should be in Poisson, right? We need to go check on her!
I would also like to go there as soon as possible, but I'm afraid I can't leave just yet. We must immediately formulate it. I'll have to ask you two to go to Poisson first. I'll meet you there to check on the
There's no time to lose! Let's get going!
Please be careful.
Sério, se o jogo não deixar eu... Tá bosta. Eu posso... Por isso é colorinho. Eu posso... Vamos lá pro Poisson. Poisson.
Oh no! What happened here? Nadia should be around here, right? We need to make sure she's still...
Meu Deus!
We haven't seen a single soul all the way here.
What will I ever do now?
Look, there's something...
Just stay put. We're coming up. Watch your balance. All right, just hurry. I'm not young anymore.
He looks pretty sad.
My leg! My leg! How could this have happened?
Just hang in there. Help is on the way.
Meu Deus, a barba tá horrorosa.
Feel better?
Keep up.
Ah, agora eu posso retornar pra Lemor. Não, agora eu não quero. Jogo ruim. Morra também.
Oh, it's Navia. She's over there. Hey, Navia, are you okay?
You're here.
We heard there was a situation in Poisson, so we came at—
Yes. As you can see, the water level suddenly...
Demoiselle! There was a wounded resident next to a building southeast of here. We've already transported him to...
He's wounded?
He fell, so it's probably a broken leg. He's pretty shaken up. When the water level rose, he desperately climbed up to the roof.
He jumped down then. Find the leader of Squad 1, and tell him to take the wounded resident...
Understood. I'll take over his search and rescue...
All right. You'll be in... I'm sorry.
This is...
Right. A little earlier, we suddenly heard a loud noise. At first, everyone thought that something might have exploded in the waterways. Before we knew it, the rushing water seemed a little odd, almost like the unique color of primordial seawater. Some people didn't realize the danger and thought it was just everyone on the street who happened to be close to the water didn't have a chance to escape.
Meu Deus!
As the water levels rose, those who realized what was happening started to flee in a panic, desperately trying to get to higher ground. Many were in... The Spina di Rosula initiated rescue operations as quickly as possible, but there have been a lot of casualties. The water that flooded the area contained primordial seawater, so the lower levels of Poisson are still hazardous. To ensure everyone's safety, I've asked the people there to leave us. No one knows if this could happen again. All we can do for now is try our best to help evacuate.
How awful. And all of this just came out of nowhere.
It was quite frightening indeed.
Is there any way we can help, Navia?
Thank you for being so willing to help in a moment of crisis like this.
Don't say that, Navia. That's what friends are for.
Demoiselle! We've got a situation here!
Sorry. I need to go for now.
Meu Deus, eles morreram.
And now she goes.
Okay. The wounded are being tended to, and we finished a preliminary head count. More support has just... Of course, we should remain ready for anything, and continue doing our best to rescue others. Traveler, Paimon, would...
Huh? Right now?
Thank you.
Meu Deus. Não boto fé que os caras morreram.
of people here, huh?
Well, given the time of day and the whole situation
Right. That's how things are now.
Navia? Navia, what's wrong?
Sorry. I just... Malus and Silver. They won't ever come back here again. What?
Huh? What happened to them?
Everyone agreed on the rescue plan, but still they were helping evacuate the residents. But they... and they were caught in the seawater.
What should we do?
Meu Deus, voltou no momento triste, meu Deus. Os guardinhas dela morreram.
I could at least hold a funeral for my father, and I know where he rests. But as for Malus and Silver, they're just gone.
Agora vai finalmente ver a live começou num momento tristão. Porra, esses dois nem morreram.
After it rains, even the gravestones. I didn't expect that you'd enjoy a glass of red wine in front of Master Callus's grave.
I can understand. Besides, the scenery here isn't half bad.
See, it's not just me. I always want to bring something when I visit Papa. Perhaps we might even have a picnic. He wouldn't be angry, would he?
How could Master ever be upset with you, Demoiselle? Yet the cemetery is the home of those who have passed, is it not? Everyone ends up here sooner or later, no matter who you are.
Buying yourself a plot in advance, are you?
No need yet. But when I do, I hope you'll let me be buried beside Master Callus, Demoiselle.
Hey, stop joking around.
I'm quite serious. That way, it'll save us both the trip to see each other whenever you visit your father's grave.
That makes sense. In that case, could I be buried on his other side?
After all, besides you, Demoiselle, the two of us could certainly be considered Master's closest companions, no?
Personally,
eu não entendo porque às vezes dobra os comentários ali no canto.
Why are you bringing this up all of a sudden? Seriously. All right. I'll remember your requests. But I'd really prefer not to talk about this stuff. And what do you mean by saving me a trip? I'd make the journey even if I had to visit you two somewhere else. I promised to let them rest in peace here. But here I am breaking that promise.
Ai, que dó.
I'm sorry.
Eu nem consegui, porque os caras foram dissolvidos da água. Não dá pra enterrar eles.
Paimon doesn't know how to help you feel better.
Ai, que dó. Porra, nunca vi uma coisa tão triste assim. No Genshin ainda por cima.
But now that I think about it, that never solely relied on me. Malus and Silver have helped me so much. I'm so sorry.
You can spend as much time as you need here, Navia.
Thank you. Right now, by the way, you can have a look at this.
Obena, Khan, Burnett. So, everyone else is safe.
It's okay. I know what you're thinking. And you're right. The overall outcome indicates that the cost was...
Right! Don't think that way, Navia. One person might be saved at the expense of another, sure, but Malus and Silver were not the price for saving...
You're right. Thank you, Paimon. What you said just now was pretty amazing, actually.
É que aqui eu tô com... tá fresquinho pra mim. Tô até de roupão.
Seems you've become more eloquent in the
Oh! Arlequino!
Is everything going well on your side?
Yes, my people are carrying out the mission according to your request. All the residents of Poisson have been evacuated, and we're preparing to relocate them to higher ground. As for these supplies, we have everything taken care of. There is no need to worry.
Thank you.
Wait, do you...
We just met recently. Right, Miss Navia?
Usually, I would call this a coincidental encounter. That doesn't quite fit this time. Besides, it never even crossed my mind that a Fatui Harbinger would come looking for me. Thanks to the Knave, Spina di Rosula received generous support from the Fatui, which allowed us to complete the rescue and evacuation work so quickly.
Spina di Rosula.
Mutual aid is essential to fostering positive developments. We were already in the area, in any case, so it was nothing. That said, I must say that you're a lot sharper than you let on. I'm sure you understand what I mean.
Eu acho que o Arlequino tem envolvimento com isso.
I apologize for all the ways in which I tested you previously. We've never worked with a Fatui before, and it's extremely important for us to know who we're working with. My subordinates have reported that Fatui soldiers have been observing water levels and taking head counts in various locations. I hear that they've also prepared a large amount of emergency supplies. I'm quite surprised.
This is nothing to brag about, nor do I intend to. It is simply the way of powerful organizations to act forcefully, whether they are doing good or ill. You've witnessed that firsthand, in any case. As I've told this traveler before, I know of the prophecy, and I intend to prevent the impending disaster. Lending your organization a hand was a natural first step in accomplishing that. As such, do not be troubled by this token of our sincerity. Perhaps one day, you'll also be able to help me in the same way.
Without your help,
Eu tô achando
there
que ela
would have
tem
been many
envolvimento
more
com isso.
casualties. I won't forget your kindness.
Furthermore, I sincerely regret what happened to Malus and Silver. I only wish that my people could have arrived a little earlier to prevent this from happening.
Don't say that. You and your subordinates did everything you could. As Paimon said, Malus and Silver didn't choose to sacrifice themselves for any specific person. And they weren't the price paid for other salvation. They chose to become heroes themselves. I've never liked hearing people put it that way. It's like trying to relieve pain by saying some noble-sounding words.
Realmente se tornar
There's
heróis.
nothing more suitable. They really did become heroes.
You're right. I'm sorry for your loss, Miss Navia. Water is life to Fontaine's people, and it also spells disaster. It's no wonder that people always say that prophecies represent fate. Fortunately, I've never been one for such opinions.
So, you're one who will try to change fate then?
Of course. That is why I'm going to Hotel Bouffe de Thé. I still have some things to take care of, and the children need my attention. By the way, Traveler, Paimon, one more thing.
Alright, then we'll just... huh?
That is a clever and useful conversation technique, which I do like to use when necessary. But there's no need today. It would not hurt to have Miss Navia listening in. Traveler, I'm sure you remember that I said we could work together when we had the chance. You and I both know that there may be issues with the Primordial Sea. Previously, it was the Fortress of Meripede's sluice gate, and this time it was the water levels in Poisson. Indeed. Allow me to share the latest intel I've... During some recent investigations, a child claimed to have discovered some ruins near Poisson. The ruins date back to ancient times, and seem to be worth investigating in many ways. Judging by the dating of the ruins, they may be related to the prophecy and the coming crisis. The situation is becoming more urgent, so any pertinent information will prove extremely precious. My people initially came to prepare for ruin exploration. Unexpectedly, this disaster struck. And at
agora a
present,
gente vai
we're all busy
explorar a
prioritizing the
ruína.
rescue effort.
So, that's why the Fatui were already in Poisson.
I wanted to take the children along, but unfortunately, Linny, Lynette, and Fremine have all been dispatched to higher ground to assist affected residents. Linny told me that outside of the house, the person they trust most is you. Which is why I want to give you this task. The House of the Hearth's members see each other as family, but Linny, Lynette, and Fremine said that they also see you as such, even though you are not from the house. I'm sure you already understand how earnest they consider their friendship with you to be.
Oh, that somehow makes Paimon feel kinda...
The intel I just shared about the ruins could fetch a high price. But since the children can...
Got it! So all we gotta do is go to
Agora eu tô na dúvida, a Arlequina vai ser uma vilã mesmo.
Excuse me, but may I tag along?
You wish to join, Miss Navi?
But are you sure you're up to exploring some ruins?
Well, I'm sad, yes. But I can't just go. There's no point in being depressed while we still have a disaster on our hands. As my father's successor, I must live up to... Besides, I'm also doing this for myself. I need something... a distraction.
Since you put it that way, I have no objections. What do you say? All right? The ruins are to the south.
Okay, the three of us will handle it. Come on, let's pack up and get going.
Vai ficar bem feliz se depois jogar com a Navia já. Tá, agora eu vou terminar aquela missão desgraçada do Elvilete.
Keep up.
A Kiara tá dormindo em pé?
It's quite all right. I'm here to tell you that we have caught the sender of...
Thank you, Monsieur. And thank you too, Traveler and Big Sis Paimon. Everyone's been so nice to me, so I've always felt really safe.
Do you remember Domenico? He was the sender of that letter.
Let me think. I can't remember. My memory isn't that good, so I easily forget things. By the way, I saw Carol in my dreams just now. Where's she gone, by the way? In my dream, she looked really happy. She held my hand and said, "Keep." I can't remember what
Ai,
her
que
dreams were
pesado.
anymore, and I don't know why. But I felt really happy too.
I can sense your joy. It is indeed a delightful moment.
Monsieur Neuvillette, are you happy too? Oh, I almost forgot. Am I allowed to go out now? I promised to model for Alov.
Of course. Off you go.
See you next time, Monsieur, Traveler, and Big Sis Paimon.
See you next time.
Era isso. Eu não boto fé que o jogo me impediu de fazer por causa dessas poucas linhas de diálogo. Sucumba, jogo. Ah, eu vou... Ah, não, acho que eu exploro de Neuvillette. Não sei. Agora é lá explorar. Agora é gameplay. Depois de 1 hora de diálogo. Ah, deixa eu colocar um celular pra carregar. Agora é a parte nova que eu não tinha explorado. Oi, olá. Olá, seja bem-vindo aí. Não me zoou, não zoou, ficou muito bom. Ficou, ó, perfeita. Pior que eu acho que vou explorar um pouco antes de fazer a missão. De nada, de nada.
Keep up.
Que eu quero gema, né? Eu quero a furina. Aqui, ó. Vamos ver aqui. Tenho nada de gemas. E eu não tenho a furina. Duas coisas que não me agradam. Bom.
Illusion shattered.
Sem sombra. Boa ideia. Com certeza vai ficar perfeito do mesmo jeito. Certeza. GG. Abre o baú.
Why is there a chest here?
Boa pergunta, Tignari. Por que tem um baú ali? Ótima pergunta. Vai me mostrar o que, Silly? O que você vai me mostrar? Não tô vendo, tá? Beleza. mudei de
Smells
ideia.
like something good is inside.
Ô, louco, obrigado. Tá mesmo, tava na melhor live do YouTube, bem agora. Por isso que eu mudei de ideia. Enquanto eu explorei, eu pensei, nossa, eu quero jogar. Eu tô há 2 dias querendo fazer essa missão. Primeiro dia, quando lançou, não deu certo que meu jogo tava atualizando. No outro, não deu certo porque tinha uma missão bloqueando essa. E agora finalmente que eu posso, eu não vou fazer. Ah, pelo amor de Deus. Ideia boba. Fica na mão de que tem aqui, vocês aí. De quem está assistindo. Mata essa foca ou não? Sim, beleza. Mata aí.
This is order. Stabilize.
Não. Eu fui na primeira, me desculpe. Mas, pense pelo lado bom. Tem 2 vivas ainda. Elas nunca vão saber que isso aconteceu. Não. Agora fiquei mal. Ué. Oxe, Paimon. Esquisita, Paimon, esquisita.
So, are these the ruins the knave was talking about?
They seem to be pretty.
Let's go.
Just speak.
Cheiro de armadilha. Essa aqui vai ser a prova real. Se não for uma armadilha da Arlequino, ela realmente não é completamente do mal. Eu acho que o moço não gostou. Eu também acho que não gostou mesmo. Acho que saiu até da live. Ah, eu não sei o que é. Ah, já que eu sou Child Stun, né? Vou de Child, né? E com sorte hoje o homem aparece no jogo. O homem aparece. Que agora só tá eu e você. Porque eu tô com o notebook ligado aqui vendo o chat. E você tá vendo. E só tem 2 pessoas vendo. Então só tem eu e você. Mas a nossa é braba, mita, perfeita, braba. Na verdade, olha essa asa que eu comprei. Quer dizer, era o que eu já... Era com moedas do jogo que eu já tinha. Então eu não comprei não. Eu só... Ah, não, comprar eu comprei, mas... Não foi com dinheiro de verdade. É muito bonito, concordo. É que a outra que eu usava não combinava tanto com o Child. Pô, não consigo subir aqui. Aqui, ó. Tome. Tá, vamos ser sinceros, também não combina tanto com o Child. Mas é o que tem, né?
Let's light it up. Everybody stand back. Riptide.
Tome. Child fortão. 207 mil brincando.
No time to lose.
Ai. Porra, tava óbvio que ia cair e ainda tomei susto. Fui bem bom. Rapaz, você tem... Não, o Child tem, vamos ver. 70 de taxa crítica e tem a pachorra de não gritar. Ai, ai. Fazer o que, né? Joga 3 anos com o boneco. Ai, fofa. Ai, Beautiful Asa. Voltou! Pensei que tinha saído porque eu matei a foca. Nossa, tanto de água primordial.
Fontanian would most likely dissolve the moment they fell in.
Right! You can't go down if there's primordial seawater. It's too dangerous, and it won't be any help for you to just stay here. Don't get by wrong. We're not saying you're useless.
É, mas é que se ela encostar lá na água, ela morre, né?
Do anything in this situation. I'll leave this.
Ai, que raiva, só pra mim não poder usar a boneca.
That complicates things.
É a Taylor Swift,
The
ela.
only way left is forward.
In that case, do you want to wait for...
The water levels here are unstable, and there's a chance the water will rise. I'll go together with you. Perhaps we'll find the exit just up ahead.
All right.
Eita.
Come with it.
Eita, o perigo da morte. É a morte iminente dela aqui.
Oh no, it's a dead end.
Que é tipo, é literalmente ela cair na água e morre. Sem chance nenhuma. Tipo, é que ela é de Fontaine, então eu não teria problema de cair na água, só água. Quer dizer, não é só água também, né, mas... Ia dar bem ruim. Nossa, que lugar bonito.
Wait.
Ai, que susto! Som alto. Meu Deus, ela vai morrer. Claro que não vai morrer. Eu não, tem gente que é mais fã e a nave não é possível que vai morrer. Ah, eu não sou fã número de um Genshin, tem um amigo que é bem mais fã que eu. Rapaz, nunca parou de jogar o jogo. Rapaz, joga desde o dia que lançou e nunca mais parou. Eu parei por alguns meses. Porra, a nave vai morrer? Não é possível.
Demoiselle.
Huh?
Não é crime.
Demoiselle, what are you doing here by yourself? Would you be standing here till...
Maybe she just wants some time to herself.
Yes, it would appear so.
Preocupante, ela tá conversando com os mortos. Preocupante.
That's quite possible. However, you were the one that suggested we go out for a walk.
Oh, right. I nearly forgot. It must have slipped my mind when I dozed off. This is a familiar feeling, yet
Is something the matter, Demoiselle?
Oh, no. No, I'm fine. I was just trying to recall why...
Do you remember Mr. Giverny? He'd requested our help before with foreign merchants who had a debt dispute with him, and we'd resolved the matter not long ago.
We were headed to see how things were going with him at the moment.
Ah, right. Yes. I remember now.
Oh, Miss Navia. Ah, Mr. Malus. And Mr. Silver, too.
How have you been?
I've been great. Thanks to your help, those bothersome merchants finally realized that I wasn't the one they were looking for. Why, I wasn't even the guarantor for that person. They were knocking at my door day and night. Even my neighbor, Obina, was getting fed up with them.
Sometimes
Não entendo o
force
que é
is
isso.
required to calm someone.
That's right. Oh, by the way, Burnett, what was it that you wanted to give
Não
to Miss
avisa se eles
Navia
não
again?
estiverem conseguindo ler.
Oh, yes. One moment, I have it right here. Miss Navia, these are some flower seeds that I prepared. Please take them. They're a very good variety, and they'll become very big and beautiful. I don't know what we would have done without your help, so this is a little token of our appreciation. I hope you
O que
won't
você
refuse.
fez? Você fica olhando os bonecos, falando isso? E eu falar também.
Did you cultivate them yourself? Thank you so much. I'll certainly take them. Balloose, we do still have some empty flower pots at home, right?
Why, we can have as many pots as you'd like, demoiselle.
Perfect. In that case, we'll swap out some of the decorative
Ah,
plants for some of Mrs.
Acho que dá pra
Burnett's
entender.
flowers.
Very well.
Wait. Excuse me, madam. If I'm not... That's right. No, it's nothing. This is the first time we've ever met, but you're... I've heard this name before. And why are there so few people around here?
Eu tô achando que...
We must mind the time, demoiselle. We still have important things to attend to.
Huh? We do...
Well, now...
Miss Navia, here you are. I've been looking
Se eu não me engano, são essas pessoas que morreram por conta do nível da água subir e ter água primordial. Aí todo mundo ó, virou água junto.
Yes, she's right, demoiselle. It's just...
Tá preocupante isso daqui. Será? Será que ela foi de Dead?
Look, it's Navia.
And her two attendants are with her.
É, são as pessoas que morreram, se eu não tô
Everyone's
enganado.
finally here.
There sure are a lot of people here to see the trial. And they all seem to be oddly... Karina? Desiree?
Joinville? Ela se chama Joinville.
Essen. And as for the judge... Huh?
É, essas pessoas que morreram
Please
também.
sit in the defendant's seat. Don't worry, Silver and I shall accompany.
All right. But I...
Typically, it wouldn't be allowed, but today is...
Hey, what kind of place do they think this is?
Come on. Do they have any idea what they're doing?
Enough with the whispering! Could someone please tell me where Monsieur Neuvillette is?
Monsieur Neuvillette.
Why I'm still...
My dear Miss Navia, have you not yet realized what you've done? In that case, allow me to explain.
O cara do cara Joinville.
As all here know, you are Master Callus's successor, the head of the Spina di Rosula, someone held in high regard by every soul in Poisson. After you took over the Spina, you treated all of us just like the late Master Callus had. If anyone in need reached out to you for not only you, but your butler, your subordinates, nearly everyone in the Spina di Rosula fought for the well-being of those in Poisson.
Tá.
Wait a moment. Aren't you just proving that I'm a good person?
Yes, correct. Absolutely right. And that is why you stand accused. You have helped so many people get through so many difficulties. You are one with us. We are inseparable. We are one big family, all of us who are from Poisson, inextricably linked. And with you being so important, we couldn't possibly do without you. Therefore, this fair and honorable court shall declare you guilty, and you shall stay here. You will be together with us forever.
Huh? What are you saying? Everything you have said is correct. I have indeed done a lot for my hometown, and I would be willing to be with you all, but what is the purpose of having me stand here like this? What is there to discuss?
Oh, well, if that's what you think...
How wonderful, Miss Navia!
Não tô entendendo nada. Ela morreu mesmo?
I know all these people. Why are they laughing?
I seem to remember now.
Wait just a moment. This isn't right!
Ah.
Malus?
What was that, Mr. Malus? Our conclusion is very clear and unanimous. Let the court judge her now.
Stay here, Navia! You're one of us!
Demoiselle, don't admit guilt. This trial means to keep you here forever.
I wish to exercise my right to defend Our Lady. Mr. Joinville, you only know of Navia's goodness, but nothing of her utterly independent mind.
She was born a free and independent spirit. She has never been tied down by anything. Indeed, even the death of Master Callus couldn't stop her.
Her actions cannot serve as proof that she identifies herself as part of any group. She merely acted as an individual, extending her hand to help others. Please do not mistake her actions as being otherwise.
Really? As an individual, you say? Don't forget, we are all Fontanians here. This is the nation of justice, the nation of Hydro. Even if Miss Navia only voluntarily rendered her assistance, that doesn't change the fact that her beautiful soul must return to
Ah, entendi. É que já que eles foram dissolvidos pela água primordial, eles foram tão na brisa da água primordial. É tipo, que essa é a pira da água primordial. Todo mundo morre e todos voltam ao original, que era ser todo mundo junto na água.
Represents justice. Now I speak for everyone. Our opinion is consistent. Navia should stay.
Aí ele tá nessa de falar que são um só. Porque ele virou a papinha, virou a aguinha. E o porquê o Silver e o Melus. E porque o Silver e o Melus escaparam da papinha da água primordial. Eu não tenho ideia.
Have you forgotten how much you all once longed to become individuals, to become independent?
Do you mean to defy our justice?
If your justice is flawed, then why should we acknowledge it?
As you said, we can also have our own justice. Silver and I shall defend Demoiselle. And that is how we will enforce justice.
My head... It hurts.
Demoiselle.
Silver, it hurts. My head is spinning. I remember now. Everything that seemed off. Karina, Desiree, Joyville, Jolien, Essen, and Mr. Giverny and Mrs. Burnett, who we met earlier. Even Malus and Silver. I don't want to admit it, but they're all dead.
Don't be afraid, and don't admit guilt.
Absurd! Who are you to say that she cannot be judged? We are the majority, and in the nation of trials, don't let them escape! We shall keep not—
Mr. Malus and Mr. Silver, must you be so stubborn? How could the two of you possibly hope to stand against the collective? Do not resist. This judgment is fair and just. Navia belongs to us. After all that happened, she should not be left alone in Poisson.
What are you saying? No more excuses.
Oh shit.
She says we're jealous. Jealous? How could she possibly be an independent individual?
What's with these people? Who's jealous of her?
She belongs to us.
Miss Navia. She...
Oxe, os caras viram assim. Oxi!
That's...
Não tô entendendo mais nada.
Monsieur Neuvillette!
Such commotion is prohibited in the court. The accusations you just presented are nonsense and cannot constitute a proper trial. The court will adjourn for the rest of the day. In this, I shall hear no objections from any unauthorized party.
Our thanks, Monsieur Neuvillette.
Please leave with me, Miss Navia, while there is still time.
Torneo?
Go on now, Demoiselle. This is your only chance to leave this place. What, can't bear to leave us behind or something?
Malus.
My apologies. I couldn't resist making one little joke once I realized
Ah, tá.
this shall be our last goodbye.
É que tá com muito diálogo que eu pensei que tinha dormido.
Silver.
Porra, que
Quickly,
merda.
you must come now.
Goodbye, Demoiselle.
Farewell.
Mas ela caiu na água mesmo? É tipo, só de ter o contato na água, ela era pra virar papinha junto. E pelo que parece, o Neovilete salvou ela. Já que ele apareceu aí, porra, o Neovilete é foda, né?
No, wait! Just a second!
Navia?
Não?
You're awake?
Ah.
Good.
Ah, o homem. O homem por trás do bom.
I must have been dreaming. Luce and Silver were still alive, and they were defending me at some
Me diga,
insane
você tá lendo?
trial.
Tá interessante? Eu não tô lendo nada.
Looks like you're all right.
Mentira, eu tô lendo sim. Tô esperando essa missão feita tem um passo já.
The ruins you were exploring suffered a cave-in. When I arrived, I found you falling toward the water. You were just about to be dissolved within, but I...
Pera, sai fora, não. A chance dos caras finalmente matar um boneco, tipo... Eles nunca fazem isso, sempre deixam no quase. É tipo, a nave é um boneco muito importante. Que coitada, só sofre. Desde a primeira missão ela tá só sofrendo. Aí o Neovilete, que ele nunca para de trabalhar. Ele vai explorar as mesmas ruínas que a gente. E na hora que ele chega, o desgraçado vê a nave caindo e salva ela. Mas vamos ver se tem uma explicação boa.
What is it?
I think I saw 2 Oceanids protecting you. It was only for a moment, perhaps even a fraction of a second. But they gave me the chance to retrieve you. Were it not for
Mentira.
their intervention, I would not have been able to rescue you before your consciousness
O
dissipated.
Melos e o Silver salvaram
Did you say
ela.
Oceanids? You mean like what happened with Vache?
Perhaps those 2 Oceanids were the people you saw in your dream.
Mentira.
I always told them that they didn't have to protect me. To think that they
Oh,
keep
lindo.
doing so
Não,
even
esquece,
after
esquece o
death.
que eu falei. Foi legal esse daí dela ter sido salvo. Porra, que massa.
Neverlet, are you okay?
Oh, I am quite all...
Why do you look so stiff all of a sudden? Oh, Paimon knows. You're the type who feels awkward when there's nothing to talk about, right?
I merely thought that we should give Navia some time to herself.
Huh? Why didn't you just say so then? Don't you think it's even more awkward to call us over like this and then have nothing to talk about?
True.
I suppose so. Ah, Sigewin.
Oh,
I hope all is well with her these days. Her work in the fortress of Meropide has not been too much for her, has it?
Ah, o Neovilete é um fofo.
Don't worry. She's doing fine down there. She's an amazing head nurse.
I see. Well, that is good. I have always worried that Sigewin would need a lot of time to understand the world of humanity, just as I have.
Oh, and the Duke also says hi. Even though Sigewin made him do that. He hopes that you haven't been overwhelmed by all that's happened lately.
Thank you. I have indeed been busy lately. And I also hope that everything is going well in the fortress of Meropide.
He still doesn't know what to talk about. Let's chat about something else. So, Neverlet.
Yes, of course.
Tá bom, né?
This isn't going anywhere. Let's try something else. How did you find these ruins? Did the knave tell you?
Yes, in fact. I had arranged to meet you in Poisson, but when I arrived, I discovered that the Fatui were helping the residents evacuate. They had even transported a large quantity of supplies to the area. Amid my
Viu
astonishment,
só as
I
coisas
ran
que eu
into
reclamei,
Lily.
tudo ficou
We had a
melhor
chat.
agora com o jogo
She
explicando.
informed me that she had asked you to investigate the ancient ruins here.
Yeah, we originally planned to meet up with you, but we thought you might still be busy with all those official documents. We didn't think exploring the ruins would take very long, and who would have thought you'd wrap things up?
Love, nem traduziram com vista.
I'm sorry to have kept you all waiting like that.
Love is destructive.
I guess we should get going again. Will you come with us, Monsieur Neuvillette?
Monsieur Neuvillette?
Yes, if you wouldn't mind my company.
Oh, right! Another one joins the party! Let's get going then!
De novo esse bosta.
Teamwork is tidal wave. Bring it on.
Morto. Massa, só isso.
No time to lose.
Sabia que de novo ia cair as escadas. Não, olha o que eu sei fazer. Ai meu Deus. Tome, né? Sou muito bom. Foda. Eu não sei por que você... Você falou foda pra isso daqui que eu sei fazer? Obrigado pelo bolo. Sim. Não sei se você tá tirando uma com a minha cara.
Into the wind.
Get them!
You can run, but you can't hide.
Tome. Até agora a gente não sabe o que eu vim fazer aqui, além de explorar as ruínas. Tipo, tá, qual que é o objetivo? O que eu tenho que procurar aqui? Ah, é que eu não sei. Eu levo a sério. Você sabe que eu levo muito a sério as coisas.
Looks like we've reached the end.
This is the place? There should not be any other hidden
The path sure had some twists and turns, but it turns out that this place isn't actually that big.
Verdade. Algo nas paredes? E a profecia?
Slates? It seems like they were put here as an offering. Could we take them down and have a look?
Perhaps we should just leave them be for...
There are 4 locations in total, but only 3 stone slates. The slate that should be in the first and...
The surrounding walls also show signs of damage.
There's something written below. Let Paimon see.
A razão dita que
Reason dictates that this nation be destroyed. I shall record the history of its future here in its past.
It feels like someone left these slates and these words here for a purpose. But does he...
That would fit the circumstances dictated by the prophecy, yes. Indeed, the slate's contents correspond.
There's a person kneeling here. She seems so dedicated. And there's a whole bunch of other people behind her doing the same. She's facing this... What is this? Some
Celestia.
kind of island in the
Celeste, eu tenho certeza que é Celeste. Meu Deus.
And is that Lady Farina in the third image? Did the Hydro Archon fall into the water?
Eu acho que eles estão sacrificando a Furina. É o que parece.
And is that a ring of people around her? Paimon doesn't quite.
The fourth image. I know this one. This
É.
exactly matches the contents of the prophecy.
É que nem na profecia essa daí. Que ela, tipo, a Fontaine foi completamente destruído e ela tá lá no trono dela. Sozinha. Chorando.
The people will all be dissolved into the waters.
É isso aí.
And only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne.
Ixi, olha lá. O que ele fez?
More information should be hidden in these slates, but I fear I cannot easily uncover it. Most likely due to us.
Don't blame yourself, Monsieur Nervalette. Deciphering ancient...
Ooh, the Paimon's getting the chills just looking at these slates. This says that it's the history of the future, right? That means the prophecy's sure to come true.
I really hope it doesn't mean that.
Still, Paimon feels like these images are kind of weird when you look at them together.
Eu não entendi o que a Paimon quis dizer.
That's right! If the images are in chronological order, shouldn't the fourth, the waters drowning Fontaine, come before the third? Where the Hydro Archon herself falls into the water?
Que? Calma. Se as imagens estiverem em ordem cronológica, a quarta não deveria vir antes da terceira? Na qual a própria Arconte Hidro cai na água? Não entendi. Mas se tem pessoa ali, quer dizer que elas não foram dissolvidas na água, né? Ai.
And yet the order is reversed here.
A ordem está invertida.
If we go by timing, Lady Farina only emerges in the third image. That means that the person in the second image might be the previous Hydro Archon.
É, faz sentido.
Egeria, then. I had never met her, but her appearance here does match the records. The previous Archon kneeling before the floating island in the skies, as if confessing a sin.
É ela confessando pecado pra Celeste, eu tenho certeza.
Did she herself
Quando a gente sair
commit
daqui,
that
eu vou
sin?
te mostrar o que é Celeste.
And if not, why would she be in such a posture? Also, I'm still wondering why these ancient stone slates are here at all. Judging from their contents, could this place be the origin of the prophecy? Does that...
But who would have created these slates and...
It seems that any further clues will have to come from Farina.
In that case, there's no time to lose. There's nothing else...
Yeah, we'd better get somewhere safe for now.
Verdade. Preocupante esse profecia acontecer mesmo. Baú. Caraca.
Let's split up here. I'm going to check on what's happening with the Spina. You know how it is.
You still have energy for that?
Just head back to the Fleuve Cendre and have a rest then. Thanks for keeping me company.
I'll depart as well. Thanks for your hard work today. Traveler, I will go talk to Farina tomorrow morning to ask about the stone slip. I'm sure that you're concerned about this matter as well. If you have time, drop by my office. I will share the results of our discussion with you.
Are you really gonna talk to her about this directly? Will that be a problem?
She has long been harboring secrets and will not give
Hey.
them up easily.
Sim. Não, eu fico na dúvida entre o Neuvillette e o Shade. Meu Shade é meu favorito. Mas eu tô. O personagem do Neuvillette é muito bom. É que você perdeu a missão lendária dele. Juro, a cutscene que tocou é muito perfeita.
I will be carefully considering my words tonight.
Traveler, Paimon, our safe house at the Fluvsandra is always open to you, as ever. So please don't... Alright.
Tá, eu te mostrar o que é Celeste, aquela ilha flutuante. Não, eu não consigo mostrar. Não, mas tá na live. Tá tipo, é um início. É, não início, mas... É, já faz um bom tempinho.
Welcome back. We've got a special menu prepared for you two tonight.
Yay! And there's good food too! Ooh, Hyman's already starting.
Oh, that voice. Is that who I think it is?
A Mona! Beleza. A Mona!
It's you two. What are you doing in Fontaine?
Não esperava a Mona aparecendo. Mesmo sabendo que ela estudou em Fontaine. Estudou? Não lembro o que ela fez em Fontaine, pra falar a verdade. Ah, não, ela trabalha por uma coisa de jornal aqui, o Pássaro a Vapor. Sim. Muita Senhora Medistos.
Seriously, nobody just uses a scry glass whenever they've got time to just see who they'll meet
Meu
on the
Deus,
road.
ela é perfeita, porque a Mona, ela sabe essas coisas de profecia, ela lê as estrelas. Porra, ela é perfeita pro momento agora.
You here? Wait, you're not a Fontanian, are you, Mona?
Well, I have some business to attend to here, so I booked a hotel in the city. I was just out for a stroll. Why did you think I was from Fontaine, though? Is that because Magistus doesn't sound much like a Mondstadter surname?
Não! Antes. Eu acho que o jogo tá tirando uma com o jogador aqui. Calma aí, calma aí. Porque, tipo, por ela trabalhar pra uma coisa de Fontaine, todo mundo achava. Até eu achava que ela era de Fontaine. Só que ela não é. Vamos ver aqui, aguenta aí. Só um pouquinho.
Well, I used to have my own surname, which was, well, some other thing. Either way, the old hag told me when she took me as her disciple
Mentira
that
que
the
ela
first
é o
step to
sobrenome
being a
dela
great
mesmo.
astrologist's pupil was to change that name. There was nothing for it, really. She really is amazing at astrology, so I changed my name to what it is now according to her wishes. To my surprise, however, Magistus is not the name of some... Nope. Although it is used by us in place of surnames, it generally just means great.
Wow! Imagine including a boast in your name. Wait, are you gonna have to put that into your genealogy as well?
Agora pode ir. Vamos lá então.
I reckon so. In any case, I'd give my disciple a name like this as well, if I were to take one. Astromancer Barbaloth Trismegistus.
Whoa, that's a long one.
Mas não é
Does
Alice?
it also mean great?
My name means Mona the Great Astrologist. As for the old hag, hers is, in plain speech, the thrice as great Scholar of the Stars. Just take it as a title specific to astrologists.
Thrice as great? That's so heavy.
I know, right? That's just how she is.
She used to call herself Magistus, actually, but once she took me in, she changed her name to Trismegistus.
Talk about excessive.
Magistus is thus the calling card of our school, so to speak, which makes it about the same as a surname. It's all right if you don't get it. You can look into it further should you need to study astrology more deeply.
But anyway, you're not Fontanian, are you, Mona? You're from Mondstadt, right?
Well, I was born in Mondstadt, yes.
Sim,
My parents
finalmente.
migrated to Dorman Port, and I traveled with the old hag for a while, after which I settled down in Mondstadt City.
Oh, that's a good thing then. At least we know you won't be dissolved by Fontaine's waters.
Speaking of that, I'm sure you're aware that a bunch of things have happened here in Fontaine, right? I know you're not a local, but I'd avoid getting too close to any water that looks strange all the same. There's something ominous about it. Well, the water, I mean. That was the main reason, yes. Just a while back, the Steambird invited me to take part in a panel and speak about the circulation of the prophecy as an astrologist. The invitation was sent quite early on. I don't think anyone expected Fontaine to be in this much trouble.
What do you make of that prophecy, Mona? Just tell us what you think as an astrologist. Your word would go a long way to make things more certain and less scary.
What I can tell you is that I'm an astrologist, and that this prophecy concerns the fate of Fontaine, even that of Altivat. Ascertaining this is akin to reading the fortune of the whole world. I'm afraid that this is not something that just anyone can do. If I could do it, you would no longer call me an astrologist, but a visionary. But on the flip side, the prophecy is so huge and powerful that it must surely come from a powerful visionary. Its contents involve the fate of the world. Disregarding it would be a mistake.
A visionary? Sounds really powerful and all, but does such a person really exist?
Of course. The old hag could do it, and I'd bet there are others amongst those Hexenzirkel colleagues of hers who could do something similar. Huh? Are you sure? All right, I'll help you.
Thanks, Mona. You're amazing as
Oh, well, this is something only I can do after all. So yes, your praises are quite welcome.
That's the greatest of astrologists for you! Of all the people we know, you know the star's the best!
Indeed, indeed. That's the spirit.
Oh, sorry. I came to see what all the commotion was about. If there's anything you need, do not hesitate to inform the Spina di Rosula.
Oh, oops. Guess we were getting a little too carried away there. Well, I'll go tend to my own business now. If I receive any news, I'll be sure to come find you two again.
And there she goes, quick as rushing water. And here we are with the Spina guy giving us suspicious looks. Right, but we were able to recruit Mona's help, didn't we? Our Fontanian friends will thank us someday. Good morning. To be honest, I'm still feeling kind of sleepy. But it's time to get up, traveler. We agreed to go see Neuvillette, so let's pack it up and get going.
Ir para o escritório do Neuvillette.
Monsieur Neuvillette and Lady Farina, they seem to have...
Eita.
Like I said, I've already explained everything.
And yet the problem has not been properly solved. There is little... It is not my intention to offend you, but please, tell me where you stand. You are the Hydro Archon Focalor, are you not? Look at this. This is a list of the victims from the
You mean...
We did not arrive in time to avert this disaster, and I will not have it happen. I will say this once more. You must tell me. Yesterday, I found 3 stone slates in some ancient ruins near Poisson. Do you...
Seriously? You're questioning me like this is a court case now. I don't know anything about that. But you found them in some ancient ruins, you say?
That's correct, which is why I came to ask you some questions. There should have been 4 slates, but one of them was missing. The other 3 feature different images that seem to correlate to the prophecy.
The prophecy?
The second of these slates depicts the previous Hydro Archon Egeria kneeling before a floating island in the sky, as if confessing something. Do you know nothing of this either?
I don't. I've never seen such slates.
I'll ask you again. Do you really have no information regarding the previous Archon? My deciphering of the slates indicates that the Hydro Archon Egeria once had to confess to, or apologize for, a certain sin. If anyone would know about it, it should be you.
All gods don't have the same secrets, you know. She was herself and I'm me. Is it really so strange that I know nothing? I understand your concerns, but I'm sorry. I just don't have anything to tell you.
Forgive me for saying this now, Lady Farina, but I have long known of your various secret investigations into certain matters. There are several indications that you have been investigating the prophecy on the sly. This is not strange in itself, considering that you are the Hydro Archon. But it is strange that you should also claim to not know any of Egeria's secrets, as well as do nothing following your inquiries. You have never been as superficial as you have presented yourself to be, nor are you a fool. And yet, your behavior is very inconsistent.
So you've been watching me all this time, have you? I didn't think you were that type.
You...
Well, since you know about my secret investigations, then you should know I'm actually working to take care of it. There's no point questioning or suspecting me. You're the Eudix, but you're still my subordinate. You should be following my lead. Just trust in me. You're Archon, and do as I say. Never mind whether you can truly convince yourself to or not. It'll all turn
Meu
out
Deus,
fine.
que raiva da Farina, ela é muito convencida.
That's all I have to say. We do not discuss this matter again. Oh, the opera's about to start. Toodles!
Toodles.
Did Farina not notice us standing by the door? Wonder what's up with her.
I assume you've been outside.
Oh! You...
She was in a great panic, though I cannot discern the reason. Our discussion reached impasses time and again. Still, I do not understand. Dialogue is the basis for understanding, so why did she keep refusing to engage? Everyone in her inner circle has noticed that she is hiding some secret. The issue is her attitude. I fear that she will not reveal anything unless we may have to create a situation in which she will have no
Oh?
Normally, people will only reveal the truth when standing trial. Perhaps we must have the Hydro op.
But Farina's seen so many trials, and she's really good at dodging questions. How do we make sure that she won't just slip away at the first chance?
We will need to consider this thoroughly, join forces with various parties. If at all possible, I would prefer to recuse myself from this affair, but we must prevent the prophecy from coming to pass. This may be cruel to her, but all Fontaine is in crisis. The information a god possesses is too precious, and so we must take a chance on this. But who will lend us their aid to do such a thing?
Well, that's everyone, huh? Speaking of which, it was pretty smart of you to think of hiding here.
Poisson was just involved in a disaster, so it's presently devoid of people. That naturally makes it the best choice.
And here you are drinking tea like it's the most natural thing in the world, huh?
That's what family should do. Sit and enjoy a leisurely time together.
It's nice to enjoy tea here, you know? Care for...
Lend me your ears, everyone. Or perhaps one of you might like to start us off. How about you, friend?
Me? No, I don't think I can.
Then, how about you, good sir?
I fear that I will cause the mood on this boat to become as somber as it is in court.
Well then, I guess we're lucky we've got a local like me to organize things. Wonderful, the spotlight at last.
That was a little long-winded, don't you think?
Oh, you might be right. Anyway, to cut to the chase, our friend here, as for what that is, well, let's start by saying that we'll be pooling our efforts together to create a series of traps.
Oh? How intriguing.
Well, it's just an expression, really. One that I just learned from Chlorand. And used on the spot. So, let's invite...
Huh? Didn't...
Oh, come now. Your work doesn't involve much public speaking, right? This is a good chance to practice. You might even pick up some fancy oratory tricks to impress your boss with.
I see. And what does my boss say?
He is glad that you consider him your boss. Do go on.
In that case, do any of you have experience hunting?
Not that I recall.
Fremine and I once used a wooden stick in a basket to catch wild rabbits when we were younger. As for Lynette,
I've also gone diving to catch some fish before. Does that count?
I'm afraid not. You may or may not have heard, but Fontaine once played host to a group known as the Marechaussee Hunters. Though that was their name, they did not hunt animals, but rather various monsters left behind by the ancient dynasty of King Remus. Today, Fontaine's monster population has already thinned greatly, so the hunters have blended back into society, taking up arms in other lines of work. They even left a unique methodology of hunting in their wake. A trap comprises of the following components: bait, a trigger, and a containment device. Sometimes a lethal implement will also be So, if we were to build a trap together, right now...
For me, I would prefer something basket-shaped. Pigeons and rabbits will see the bait and naturally enter the snare. Our line of work requires a deft hand, and we're some of the best in the industry, so you can count on our tech...
You used some of those techniques while moving the people of Poisson, didn't you? My subordinates mentioned that you even performed some magic for the bawling children.
Yes, and I even managed to gather some intelligence in the meantime. I'm quite the multitasker.
I'm afraid I can't claim that as my strong suit. I prefer more stable methods, like placing bait in the water and
Calm and steady. Exactly the kind of person who would catch loads of...
And I can be their assistant.
With discretion, I'm...
I'd probably use some sort of mechanical animal. Papa once bought me some small clockwork squirrels, mice, and such. When placed in the forest, they can attract others of their kind. I remember that you liked those too, didn't you?
I did. And that would be a good way to go about it. If they're realistic enough, animals of the same kind will follow them all the way.
What about you, Monsieur Neuvillette?
I fear I do not have any related experience.
That makes sense. You usually solve problems directly, without the use of any but I do have one more question for you, Monsieur. If we were to create a trap now, how would you design it?
I would like for it to be effective, but bring no harm to the prey. A more gentle trap would...
Kind, as always. However, our intention doesn't necessarily change the containment. If we wanted to kill the prey in one strike, we would need a powerful implement. However, that also goes for prey that must be captured and safely contained.
Wait.
Only a hunter who's a true expert at subduing their prey can snare it without harming it. The line that divides life and death is often...
So, are we...
Huh. We hadn't thought of seeing ourselves as hunters. It kinda works, but maybe it's still not...
If our means of capturing and dealing with our prey is to put them on trial, then the hunting metaphor is actually quite accurate. But we shall require much more courage than any hunter to judge a god, being whose seat is an exalted throne.
Oh, so that's what's going...
Rapaz. Coisa na rede.
It's been a tough few days, hasn't it? So much has been happening. Hyman didn't think the meetings would go on for so long, but everyone seemed pretty fired up, huh? I thought they'd be at least a little frustrated. Well, perhaps you guys know, but everyone else just looked a little surprised. Well, it's hard to say. Hyman doesn't have any experience with this sort of thing. But with you around, Hyman sure will do great. After all, you're the most reliable person in the world, aren't you? Huh? Did you just pour some tea? Hyman didn't notice you do... Then what's that? Hyman's never seen that cup before.
Don't be frightened. I'm just joining you two for tea. I merely refrained from saying anything till now.
Who's that voice? But there's no one here.
Aw, have you forgotten me already?
Wait, you are familiar. You're the voice we heard from the sky in Sumeru.
The voice from the sky,
I fear that description is wrong. Though, not completely wrong. You're feeling lost now, just as you were feeling previously. I sensed that confusion and thus came to you. Guiding people is an irresistible hobby of mine after... Consider me a passerby, just accepting a commission from my friend's disciple on a whim. The prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesied will be fulfilled. You may view such things as the history of the future.
What? Then is there any way we can stop it?
I believe you have witnessed a failed attempt with your own eyes. Can everything in Tevat so easily be changed?
Realmente.
Ah, so you've caught on. Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, could things be happening in hidden corners where the gods' gaze does not fall? Are the things that you shall see different from the fate that the gods perceive?
What is she talking about? It all sounds really impressive and important and stuff, but it also sounds kind of scary.
I believe that you understand, right? Some things are insignificant, but others you must reach out to change. Ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter what will happen in Tevat's future. All you need to do is to play your part. This was good tea, by the way. Thank you for your hospitality. Well, that'll be all for today.
The voice. It's gone.
Well, I see I've walked in on some lively band. Fine, just fine. I went to take part in that. Not all Fontanians are pessimistic about this. One journalist mentioned that sitting around and waiting for the end to come would be wrong, and that they should make their own rescue preparations. I agreed, so we...
Did she have pink hair?
Why, yes, it was Charlotte. I assume you've heard of her. I'm in full support of her view. Prophecies are very important, but how can people allow their lives to be commandeered by...
That's right! Paimon's glad to hear something.
Ah, yes. About what we had discussed before. I did try, but I'm afraid I couldn't reach the old hag. I'll try again tonight. Huh? Goodness gracious. Are you serious?
She said that even the god's gaze has blind spots.
Isso, Genshin Impact.
Most people would believe the gods to be all-knowing, right?
The Hexen Circle members are certainly anything but ordinary. As for the mage named N, the old hag has mentioned her a few times. She said that N's sense of direction is incredible, and that she loves guiding those who are lost. But I've never met her, and if she were still alive, she'd be... well, suffice it to say that the hag's at least a few hundred...
Whoa. The Hexen Circle sounds like a scary group. But they must really stay in shape to live so long.
Their abilities alone are pretty terrifying. If she came to see you personally, then the problem you're facing must...
Well, it's not like Paimon could understand anything she said.
Yes, she was quite cryptic, but I suspect she means that there is still a way to turn things around. She didn't say when or what that would be, though, so... perhaps it is something that you cannot know right now. Traveler, Paimon?
Oh, we're fine. We're just a little down right now. It kind of feels like the end is coming, you know?
I see. I feel that same sense of desperation too. I guess you could consider me someone who has often witnessed fate. So far as I have seen it, but even so, I still hope for and believe in miracles. Astrology, perhaps that's what En was trying to tell you. Not to lose heart. I did originally think of steering clear of all this, but I couldn't. Even if this is all futile, I still wish to have...
Huh. You do have a point.
There I go, talking about astrological principles again. Sorry about that. The moment, it was worth trying to comfort you, even if only a little. I suppose that might be why we always seem...
Paimon feels kind of moved by what Mona said. Hey, Traveler. Paimon suddenly feels like going... Let's walk around the city, shall we? There's a few spots we always like to walk by.
Meu Deus, preguiça. Eu acho que eu vou terminar a live por hoje. Que porra, preguiça de continuar. Ó, deu todo o mapa pra explorar aqui. Outro porto. Aqui vai conectar pra Liyue. É. Tudo. Então,
If we didn't keep moving, we'd freeze to death.